Hey, what's going on, everybody? So we all know that with retirement accounts, you're going to get taxed at some point. Now, with traditional accounts, you're taxed on the back end. But what if I told you there's a way for you to minimize your tax burden? Like give Uncle Sam a smaller piece. Pay tax up front and maybe not pay anything on the back end. Today we're going to talk about Roth IRAs, in case you didn't pick that up. And I'm going to explain to you why, if you don't know what they are, you should, and how they can be helpful. So today's video is going to be about a Roth IRA, something you've probably heard of but aren't really familiar with. Like everyone's probably heard the term Roth IRA but don't know what it means or what it's like. What is the point? Like what is a Roth IRA? It's another way for people to pay less in taxes. Now I have your attention. So first and foremost, what is a Roth IRA? A Roth IRA is an account for you to set money aside for when you start working, aka retirement. There's a few key differences about a Roth IRA that make it, I don't say better, but an alternative or another way to minimize how much of your money the government takes. There are three things to a Roth IRA that make it different from, like, say, a traditional IRA or 401k. Three things that I'm going to highlight that are going to put in very simple, plain English terms so that you can know exactly what it is that you need to know. First and foremost, with the Roth IRA, the money going into it, you've already paid taxes on. It's not pre-tax dollars, meaning if you worked for your income, you've paid Uncle Sam his cut, and then the money that's left you put into a Roth IRA, meaning you've already paid Uncle Sam a piece of this money. That's very important, and we're going to get into why that's important a little bit later. Number two, there are income limits on how much money you can make in a year if you want to use a Roth IRA. Now, these limits are pretty high, and I don't think they apply to pretty much anybody that's watching my channel. But if you make more than like $139,000, I think it is, per year, you can't have a Roth IRA. Now, if you're married, it's up to like $209,000. But if you're in that income bracket, you probably have a professional that's helping you, that you pay to help you. Y'all don't pay me, so I don't think that's going to apply to y'all. Number three, you have to smash the like button. No, that's right. Aha! You don't smash the like button right here. You have to tap the like button. That's right. The difference with the Roth IRA is if you have one, it says in the IRS tax card, you must gently tap the like button for all of Larry's videos and subscribe and hit the notification bell. All that stuff. It says that. It doesn't say that, but I'm going to say it because I'd appreciate it if you did, because the videos are helpful. I'm sure they are. And if they're not immediately helpful, someone's like, hey, what's up with the Roth IRA? They're going to be helpful to you. But the third thing about a Roth IRA, being serious now, is that there's no required minimum distributions. That's another thing that if you aren't retired, you probably have never heard of that term or don't know what the heck I'm talking about. But this doesn't have any. And I'm going to explain why that's important coming up along with the whole putting money into it that you've already paid taxes on. So now we know what a Roth IRA is. We know what's different about it, what's special about it. But why does that matter to you? Like, why do you care about what a Roth IRA is? You need to know what your options are to maximize your money in retirement. There's a lot of tools out there. There's a reason why people can make their entire careers just navigating the tax code in America. It's that complex. And if you are only playing the game, you know, this is chess. It's not checkers. It's actually closer to like 4D chess. But if you're playing it like checkers, you're losing a lot of money for no reason. So that's why I'm here to help educate you guys on what some of your options are to see if it is a good fit for you. Remember before when I said that if you're paying taxes on the money going in, how that was important? Because the way Uncle Sam looks at it is they don't do double taxation. There's a couple small scenarios where that can happen to you. But for the most part, for individuals, you're not going to be double taxed. So if you're paying tax on the money going in, you're not paying tax on the money coming out. See, with the traditional 401k or like a traditional IRA, the money goes in pre-tax. Uncle Sam says, hey, you don't have to pay tax on this money. Put it in there, let it grow tax-free. He's going to tax you when you go to take it out. See, Uncle Sam going to get a piece. That's all it is to it. But with the Roth IRA, you get to say, listen, take your little piece now. Now, me personally, I would rather pay, 20% of whatever it is now as opposed to 20% later, because what I'm putting in now isn't going to compare to what it is later. See, if I'm starting my Roth IRA, I might start up with like $5,000. 20% of $5,000 is $1,000. That sucks. It hurts. But I'd much rather pay 20% of $5,000 than 20% of 100,000. Now I have your attention. You don't have to pay so much money in taxes. So remember that third thing I was talking about required minimum distributions? See, Uncle Sam lets you put money into a 401k without paying taxes on it, or like a traditional IRA. And they let your money grow. And he says, you know what? I won't even take any parts of it while it's growing. They can grow tax-free. But when you go to take it out, hands open. He gonna need a piece of that. And you're probably thinking, oh, well, I'll just never take it out. Wrong. If you have a traditional 401k or a traditional IRA where you didn't pay tax on the money going in, and they grew tax-free, Uncle Sam is going to require that you start taking money out when you hit about like 70 years old. I think it might be like 71 after, because of some new laws, but it's about 70 years old. So your money can't just grow forever tax-free. It's not how that works. So it's like a hustle when you think about it. It's like, I won't even charge you no tax when you put the money in, and I will let it even grow tax-free, because I'm gonna get mine on the back end. When it's a much bigger pile of money, I'm gonna tax that. That's how the government works. So that's the thing is, when you have a traditional 401k, even though you don't pay tax on the money going in, you don't pay tax while it's growing, on the back end when you get older, they're gonna say you have to take money out and you have to pay taxes on it. Now you can take the money out early, which is which is removing the money from 401k or the traditional IRA early. There are heavy and severe penalties for that. Don't do that. It's just a bad idea. Like some companies will have you be able to take a loan, you can borrow it and pay it back. It's not so bad, it's kind of borrowing from yourself. But if you're just taking it out and paying a tax on it, that's dumb. Don't do that. If you got a family emergency or something, you should have an emergency fund set up somewhere. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. With that being said, that's a Roth IRA. It's just an account where you get to save for retirement, but you're paying tax on the money now, so you got to pay tax on it later. Of course, there's limits on how much money you can make doing this, and you don't have to take the money out ever. Like, you can have a Roth IRA just grow forever until you die, and then the money has to be taken out, and there's different things that happen at that point. The whole reason for this video is you need to know what your options are so that you can maximize your money and minimize how much of it Uncle Sam is going to take. And a Roth IRA is another tool to accomplish that goal. If the video was helpful, leave me a like. If you like me or like the video, subscribe. Remember, we gently tap the like button. We don't destroy the like button. I'll be back again to help you guys out with anything I can to help you navigate the financial landscape in plain, simple English. You got questions, comments, concerns? Leave them in the comments below. If you don't have a retirement account, you're not sure which one to set up, you can always set up a Roth IRA as long as you're under those income limits at Webull and Robinhood. Links in the description below. If you're not thinking about retirement, you are already behind the ball. I don't care if you're 18, 28, 38, 48. You should be considering retirement, and you should have something set up for it immediately. All right, man, I'm Larry. I'll scream at y'all later.